good.
Very many papers.
Okay, 5 o'clock, we're going to call the meeting to order. And Sheena, how about you offering our prayer?
I'd be happy to. Please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this time together this evening. We thank you for the good week that we had to celebrate and be thankful for all of our blessings. And we thank you, Lord, for our wonderful school system, our wonderful board members, and all of our employees, Lord. And we just ask that you continue to bless us, help us to make good decisions this evening, and give us wisdom and discernment. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Doug, you want to?
Yes, ma'am. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You got me?
Thank you, Sean.
Thanks. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, introductions. Josh, if you'll start.
Josh C.
Beth Barr.
Sean Collars.
Janet Rose. Jennifer Strawderman.
Doug Hines.
Dixie Dean.
Melvin Shook.
Sheena Van Meter.
Okay. Presentations this evening. Our first is assessment updates with Beth Barr.
You guys want to take one and pass them around, please?
We'll keep it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, now these.
Okay. This is just an overview of the summative assessments and the windows for this spring. So the first page is a list of the assessment all the way to the left. The subjects assessed is next, and the purpose, and the grade levels, and then I figured the number of students that we have that will be taking those assessments, and then the windows all the way to the right. The next page is just an overview, gives more information in depth about each of those assessments if there were any questions about any of those. And I go to testing training next week in Charleston, so if there's any other updates, I can report on those when I get back.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Beth? Okay, thank you. And then Josh, maintenance and transportation updates.
Yes, ma'am. I think we missed passing out the work orders with the packet this time. You might have to coach me through this.
I gotcha.
Probably I'll get HDMI too. There you go.
I passed out the punch card to you. As you can see, we've added quite a bit more.
Yeah.
So we took about 7 or 8 days away from the buildings unless there was an emergency. I pulled the 3 guys off, and we started knocking out a lot of things that we could do. I took it upon myself to go in today. This is today at about 3 o'clock. Tried to get it as late as I could, just to give you a look at the inside. I know y'all are visual people, you like to see the inside. As you can see, all the lights are finally in, the holes are in the ceiling. We have part of the ventilation vents up. We still have a couple more off to the side that we have to go through yet. I'm not sure how.
Use the arrows, Josh. There you go.
There we go. And I'm just going around the room with you. This is along the one wall. This is looking back towards MHS from where you come in at the garage door. The little building you're seeing there, that's the electrical room and the bathroom. Just moving our way right across. And what I did is I just took it back. I came in the garage door, which is down right beside the Evans Motel. And I just moved around. I went back down the other end, looking back up towards that direction, giving you a look again at how much we've been able to accomplish in there in just those several days. You'll see the plywood on this side is kind of not completed yet, but over on the other side, they have started at least to put a little bit of something on there. They haven't gotten very far along. It goes only about halfway. And once again, that's just volunteers that are coming in and painting that portion of it. Back over this little box again, the door you're looking at right here to the left is the bathroom entrance. I'll take you inside of that with a picture here in a second. And you'll look here at this corner, it is a little bit dark. We were one light short. That's why it's a little bit dark in this corner. We were short on that one light up on the ceiling, so we have one more light to put in. They don't take very long, maybe 20 minutes to actually put them in. It takes longer to get the scaffolding down there and climb up than what it does to actually hook them up. I just took just a picture of it just to show you that that was still incomplete. This is actually part of the ASAP fire alarm system that's on the floor that we disconnected. It's just, it just needs to be put back up, just showing you one of those things that still needs to be done on the electrical side. This is where it attaches in the wall. You can see just a simple hookup and then a mounting of that conduit. Going into the bathroom, soap dispenser, paper towel, sink, everything's there. Our partition's up, toilet set, toilet, paper dispenser is also set as well. And then that's the new partition that we put in. The lock that the handle that we put on this door, Mr. Armentrout did not want it to lock because it's elementary kids, so we put the partition in there. We just thought that would be better that they have a partition rather than lock themselves in the room. And if they had an issue, they'd be able to at least access the room to get into them. This is the electrical room. The drywall is completed in there. We weren't in much of finishing it. It's just an electrical room. It's not seen. It'll be behind closed doors, but it's all closed up, shut off. Just wanted to show you these are the outlet covers. I think Hayden thinks we have enough, but not sure yet. But these are going to be the outlet covers that we put on once they finish painting. And we still have those to put on. We were going to wait until they were finished painting. Same as the light switch covers as well. We just need to pick those up and install them, which is just a matter of minutes. But that's where we are on that. It's came a really long way. Kind of proud of it, what the guys were able to go over there and accomplish in that short amount of time. At the same time, we had a lot of plumbing issues that I did pull them off of, and we were able to go and knock out. So we put a lot of time and effort into that. Last week, I didn't have anybody but Tom, and we pretty much winterized a lot of different things. But I just looked before I walked up here. We're down to 20 work orders, so we were able to knock out quite a bit since we were even able to do this. So we're sitting pretty good, even with pulling those guys off of those for several days.
Did you say there were volunteers painting the wall? Is that what you said?
I got a text message from Coach A the other night, and he said we're going in to paint tomorrow. He said I don't know who we are.
Okay.
I saw his truck there when I rode by, but I didn't see anybody else's.
Okay.
But it did say we.
Yeah.
It's that's what, 120-foot wall by 60-foot wall. That's a lot of paint. They're 4 foot high, and you got to cut it in, down, and above, and yeah. And I think he's just priming it. I think it's a navy blue is what I bought. I haven't seen it yet, but I think it's navy blue. That was quite some time ago when we purchased that, but I think it's navy blue. It's going to go
Is the
down
paint
there.
still
So that's
good?
primer we can see now then, I guess.
Yes,
Is that what
that's the
that was?
primer you're
Gotcha.
seeing. Yeah, but it is started. We do take volunteers. You want to volunteer and go paint, by all means. We'll get you in there. It's heated, feels great. The heat and air is on, it feels great in there. Yeah, it's going to be a nice building. I think the biggest issue that they're going to have though is the floor. that concrete, the dust that's in there, it's pretty slick. We took, I think 3 trailer loads of trash and whatnot out, but I think it looks really good. I mean, if you'd seen it when we went in there to where we are now, it's totally changed the building. Got me kind of excited to get the doors open on it.
Metal looks nice.
Did they seal that concrete or not? Was it sealed?
No.
What will the final finish be?
It's bad.
Their idea of the final finish for the floor is field turf. Other than where you come in the entrance door from the elementary side where they want to build the sidewalk, the same floor that you saw in the bathroom, they want to do that in that corner down there. We haven't done it yet just because we wanted them to be able to move the scaffolding around.
Right.
We have it. It doesn't take very long. It just snaps together. It's kind of like this. But then the rest of the floor, their idea is field turf, which is the same thing you put on a football field, softball
Right.
field, that type, which would be great
And replaceable.
and replaceable. But not being weathered, I don't think you really have to replace it. very often. You know, that field turf, I think, is every 10 years you have to replace it, but that's outside. Indoors, I don't know what the lifespan on it, could be longer than all of us, hopefully. Yeah.
Don't look at me when you say that.
I said us.
Okay.
So the painting's about the only thing that's really holding you up in a sense then?
Yeah, for the most part, the painting. But that, you know, I don't think that's anything that the inspectors look at.
Right.
It's just getting those covers on, getting those last couple hiccups with what we have that I showed you,
Mm-hmm.
the light, the ASAP, that's probably the biggest thing. And I talked to Nevin, I don't know, a week or two ago, and he told me he only needed like a week, that's the fire marshal. He only needed like a week's notice and he could be here. He's got another guy with him, Cody, that travels with him, and he wants Cody to come and do it. So I think we're on the right track as long as we can do it, but I did have to get Hayden back out to do some work orders today that we're getting up there, and we have a lot of lights that came in that he needed to replace. So our new buses, anybody got questions anymore on maintenance or anything?
What's the water leak at East Hardy? Have you figured that out?
No, we have not. We've had PSD there twice. We thought we had it figured out, and we ran it again, and we had a long weekend, and Logan came back to me from the PSD and told me that we were still running high. I asked him if he had any ideas. He told me no, but he said it's going to show its ugly self sometime. It's not in the building. There's nothing inside the building. There's nothing that's showing itself outside the building at the present time, like the one that was running down the road when you first walked in, or when you first pulled in. It's not doing that. It's a mystery. It's not showing up anywhere. It's not coming through the ground. I don't know if it's showing up in the creek. I don't know. We cannot find it. I called Nelson, who does our mowing. You know, he found the one at the middle school for me. We can't find this one at all. It's just a mystery, and it's using a lot.
Is it a matter of just start digging until you find it?
I hope not.
Well,
Yeah.
that's all right. $3,000 a month water is a lot of money for water
Yeah.
too.
It is.
You know, in the long run, it may pay for itself to
And they're
start
sure it's
digging.
not at the meter?
It's not showing itself if it is. The last one was. It was just past the meter. It'll show up in that, and it'll come up into the ground. It might be down the hill.
Okay.
That's how we found the last one. It was down the hill, and we just started. It happened to be right underneath the blacktop when we found that one. But this one's it's not showing itself at all.
I wonder if it's underneath the road,
No.
where y'all shot the road, because didn't you all dig under, didn't it get dug out into the road and then out? Didn't you have to cross the road?
That was where we fixed it. The one where you first pull in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was where we fixed it. That's where it was. It was under the road that time.
And you're sure it's not under the road again?
It's not showing itself like it did the last time. It's not coming up to the surface
Yeah.
to where we can see it. It's staying down.
Because it sounds like it's under the road somewhere, if you can't see it.
It's definitely underground. It's not in the building at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to every fixture there is in that building, and it's not showing
Is there
itself
anybody
at all.
that specializes in that kind of?
I asked Logan. Logan, those were Logan's
There has
words.
to be
It will
some-
show itself sometime.
Something you can put in the, there has to be.
Well, like with a car air conditioner, they put dye in it.
I was thinking about that too.
And, so that you can see where the gas is your Freon or your refrigerant, they don't use Freon
Right.
anymore, where it's leaking. And I would think they could put some water.
I'll ask them if they have something like that.
But if it isn't coming up anywhere, it's not
Yeah,
gonna show.
Yeah.
So your only option is to dig and find
Yeah.
Where do you start digging? How do you do that?
from the meter and follow the line in.
Just start out and go in?
It's the only way. There's just one main line goes in there and the fire
Yeah, it
line,
just
right?
goes right from the meter, across the road, and then right into the corner of the building.
Right.
And the main valve is right there
Yeah,
inside
that's what
that
I'm
corner of the
saying.
building. Yeah, and from there, it's pumped upstairs and then back out.
Of course, at that corner of the building, isn't the ground pretty deep there?
That's where it drops down. It's low, yeah, but it would be wet. It would be standing water, especially in the drought. We found one that was on the PSD. Nelson did when he was mowing over there. He found the other one at Moorfield Middle while he was mowing in the middle of the drought. This one hasn't showed itself. There's not a wet spot with that significant amount. you would think it would be showing itself.
Sounds like we probably, I agree with Janet, we're gonna, and
To
with
start
Melvin, we're gonna
digging.
have to dig before the ground freezes. I mean, we're not anywhere close to that, but it sounds like we need to
Start
dig
again.
and find it.
It's feet. It's feet.
Do we have the equipment to do that, or we need to
We
rent
got a
it?
little 24 horsepower tractor out here with a 6-foot boom on it.
I think that's what they dug at West before, wasn't it?
No, we brought in a mini hoe.
No, okay.
Yeah, I had to rent a mini hoe.
Well, whatever you have to do, you have to do.
I might be
you
able to
know.
get hold of Rodney. Rodney
I was gonna
Funkhauser
say,
might be
yeah.
able to out. Rodney, if you're watching or listening, yeah, we might need you
Call me a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Rodney's
would
got-
probably help.
He's got equipment and might be able to help us out with that.
I bet he would.
Well, either way, I think you
I think
need
it's time.
need to,
Dig.
because it's jumping like $500-600 a month every month.
You'd think it would have to.
Exactly.
It's
You'd
in-
think it would show up somewhere. It's not showing up. And it's all downhill. And that's why I say it could be coming down the creek down there and we wouldn't know.
Could be.
Yeah,
It's a possibility.
Softball field's awfully green, but there's no wet spot on it. Yeah, I don't know.
That's convenient.
Well, if it's going downhill and it's spreading out,
Yeah.
Probably if it'd be a wetter summer, you may, being dry, it's probably soaking in the ground, so maybe it's actually hurting it since it's dry.
It's it's mind-boggling. It really is. I can't, we've tried everything.
There's
Logan,
something.
but I'll call him again and see if he's got any more ideas with it.
Can't
Well,
get
if
a
it's
hold
not
of
leaking in the
Downser.
building, it has to be from the meter
Do
to
you
the
know
building.
a downser?
Well, we did have one of the bus
One of
drivers
which
do
is-
that.
one of which?
He came pretty close to the leak on the last one. He was really close to the leak on the last one. Yeah,
Call him up.
Keith Stahl.
What is it, a peach?
Keith ran around with
he
it.
was the water with.
Yeah,
You can
was
use
with-
any cap.
I think
There's
you
a little
can-
stick.
Yeah,
Apple.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, we can try. He'll get a kick out of that.
Well, seriously, I forget who drilled our well, but that's how he found our
Yeah.
water. That's how he found our stream. And my well in 46 years has never gone dry.
That's awesome.
Even, this summer as bad as it was, I have had good water.
I don't have that skill, but
Yeah.
Keith does. What will you, Keith?
Oh, yes.
Walk the perimeter.
Get it.
It's worth a try.
It is.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
If he's willing.
Over on the transportation, the new buses, they are way ahead, are going to be here, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday. Those are the ones we ordered, so they'll be here next week. Yeah, they could have been here this past week, but being the deer season and everything, they passed on them, so next week the new buses will be here. We'll get the radios in them and start getting those out on the road and rolling some other ones out. I also, since the last time I saw you, did get to go down to the facility where they make the electric buses, and Ms. Dixie, I am sold on them. I truly am. I came back and told Dr. Van Meter I wish I had 10 of them. I really do. They are absolutely amazing. Andy Miller went with me. Andy wants an electric bus, and I never dreamed I'd hear a guy that owns a diesel trucking company to want an electric bus, but they really are. They're absolutely amazing. They got an 8-year guarantee on their batteries, but other than that, that's the only downfall of the whole thing that I see now. But the way that they make them and set up and everything, and the ability to get it around to work on them, I think is more beneficial than the diesel ones that we have right now. So, yeah.
Would we be able to efficiently use 10 more electric buses?
Yeah,
With the
yes.
hills and
Well,
valleys and
yes.
distances?
Yeah, I mean, when you think of our runs, there's only a handful of runs that actually go up and down hills, but the buses have the ability to do what they call degenerative braking. And when you're going downhill or you're hitting the brake, the batteries actually recharge themselves. So as you pull a hill, the power that you lose, you can gain it back on the downhill side as you go back down the hill.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's neat.
So you do have that, but a lot of our runs, and Melvin can attest to it, are long valleys. They do go back in
Right.
little nooks and crannies, but you have 259 that's a long valley, you have 220 that's a long valley, and we're not really climbing over the mountain from east to west, and they would definitely be beneficial, especially here in town, where our numbers are starting to rise and go up. I did get with the gentleman down there, Steve, and we are gonna apply for a grant for one. He's gonna do the grant for us. So I gave him, our information, and he's gonna try to get a grant, so maybe we can get a second one.
Oh,
So,
good.
yeah, yeah. But I am sold on them. I know the you know, concerns with them, you know, especially being new in the fires and whatnot, but I am sold on that bus. Yeah.
Who's gonna be the, what route are you gonna put it
Include
on?
Deb Ferris, so it'll be a Misty Terrace, up to, State Park Road, Misty Terrace, through town and then back to
Well,
here.
that's all level ground.
Other than the one little piece going up State Park Road.
Yeah.
But she'll gain it back, coming right back down off of it, yeah. And he comes here and teaches myself, the mechanics, the drivers, how to drive it, so the degenerate braking will be more beneficial to them. So you're not learning on your own. He teaches you how to drive it. It's a totally different way of learning how to drive it. Yeah. It's neat. We get it. I want to take y'all for a ride.
Will we get to go
Oh,
for it?
yeah, let
It's
us
really
try.
cool.
For sure.
Yeah.
Will you take us for a ride on?
Yes,
it?
ma'am. That's what I'm
That's what
saying.
he was
Yeah.
saying, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. It's pretty cool. It really
I'll
is.
lick the windows.
I'm not sitting with her.
Have anything else?
Dr. Van Meter and I also went down and presented to the SBA.
Oh, yeah.
For a new man trap entrance to Morfield Middle School, and also for new hardware on exterior doors for East Hardy Elementary.
Mhm.
Yeah, we think it went really well. We'll find out, but there was 3 or 4 counties, do?
You can tell
3 or
about
4
that.
counties that were building new buildings, and I think they only had 54 million to give, and these counties were asking for upwards of 20 million, all 4 of them. So they've got a tough task ahead of them. Andy Neptune did call me this morning, and he's the SBA director. I've known him for a long time. We coached football against each other way back in the day, and he told me that he's doing everything he can for us, but he cannot go in with 0 to offer. So he asked if I would go to the boss and ask the boss if there was some money that we could throw towards it. And he was asking for 100. So we agreed that, and was hopeful that you guys would agree that to put up 10%, that, so I called him back and told him that we did agree to give 100 if he could pass that for us.
So how that, and we ran that through Sarah, and how that works is if we are offered, if they call us and say you received the funding, that would come to you guys and you'd have to approve it because it's $100,000. But we didn't want to miss an opportunity of being considered, because we asked for 1.12, like 1,122,000 or 1,125,000, something like that. So we figured at that rate, and we grabbed Sarah, and she was like, yeah, you can't hardly
It's
turn
less
down
than
$1 million
10%.
for
Yeah.
that. So we told him yes, so he could take it back to them to see if that would work. And then if it does, you guys will still have the opportunity to approve that, but we just didn't have time to
And he
You
was,
know,
it was.
get on
it
the
was-
agenda.
It was, time is of the essence. He was on 79 South, driving back to Charleston from Fairmont, and he needed to know, because that was the argument that he was going in today,
Yeah.
to try to battle to get that for us, so.
Yeah, they want you to kick in. They
Yeah.
don't, the days of the 100% are kind of
Well,
over.
I think that's only fair, because at least if we kick in, that they know we're
We are
committed.
invested.
Yeah, the
Yes.
importance
And
of
we'll
the
support it.
project. Yeah, I agree, Janet.
So I have no, yeah.
Yeah, but even before the phone call, we felt really good about it. They asked the questions that we wanted them to ask, and we were able to answer. We even had the architects there with us, and the architect didn't even have to talk. Doc and I, we were Johnny on the spot. We were
Good.
pretty well prepared for it.
I have a
Nice seeing
question
you.
for you
Yes,
about
ma'am.
buses.
Uh-huh.
We talked about bus repairs last meeting, and I'm just curious to know, do you keep a log of the repairs that are made on each bus?
We have them, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there some buses that seem to be lemons that take more repair work?
The
than
older
others?
ones, right now, we have one that seems to be really putting it on, bus 51.
Okay,
That's
that's one that I
probably
was
your
thinking
bus, yeah.
of, because I see on
Yeah,
the.
we had the conversation already, how much are we gonna spend on this bus before
okay.
we give up? We've already had that conversation with Andy, and he keeps telling me that he can have it ready, and every time we do, the light jumps back on. I even, when I do my runs, I take those buses. I've had to drive numerous times already this year. I always take that problem bus, rather than putting it in a driver, and I take it, and then I go directly to Andy, and this is what your bus is doing. Yeah.
What year is it, Josh, do you remember?
I don't. I
I
don't.
don't remember when it was either.
Yeah. That, it's older than 12. I'm pretty sure it's older than 12. If not, it's right there at 12.
Is it one of our oldest buses then?
It's in that percentage. It's in that lower 1/3. Yeah, it's in that lower 1/3. My opinion, every bus that we have that's over 12 years old is a money pit. Every single one we have that's over 12 years old is a money pit, because you're not getting anything for it, and all you're doing is throwing money at it to keep it out there on the road.
I was wondering the same
Yeah.
thing, because I've noticed on our invoice, same bus numbers.
Yeah.
Repeatedly,
Yeah.
getting parts and
53,
repair.
55.
Yeah.
Well, 53 and 55 are going to be, and they're always going to be. Those buses were bought. They have truck engines in them. They don't,
Okay.
like pickup truck engines. They don't have bus engines like the other ones. They don't have those big horsepower engines in them. When International put them out, International salesmen will tell you now that it was the biggest mistake they ever made. Correct? They're bad
They
buses.
should have
But
recalled.
bus, yes, but bus 55 is our spare handicap bus now, so I have to keep that one going. 53 is the one we put the new motor in last year. The issue that it's having is the engine brake, the Jake brake on it is what has been a little bit of an issue on it here lately. But 55 I have to keep up and going, just because it's our spare handicap. Does that answer? I hope I answered it.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
because I figured you probably did know which ones were always
Yeah.
breaking down
Yeah.
and needing repairs, but, you know, it's good to know that there is definitely a log, and
Yes,
you
there
know
is. Yes.
which one is bleeding us.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and we when we start seeing it, we start asking questions. So yeah, we're right there with you.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Josh, will you shut that laptop so that doesn't pull the
Yeah,
camera's
sorry.
attention? That's okay. I'm just afraid it'll
Okay.
be looking at the camera.
We don't have any public comments this evening, so we'll move on to the consent items.
Motion to approve.
Second?
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent items. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Roy, are you there? Okay, so it's 4-0. Under unfinished business, we have the emergency substitute list, the policy. It's been out for first reading, and this is the one for approval.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Have a motion and a second to approve the emergency substitute list, Hardy County File GDDA. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And it's approved 4-0. Under new business, Sheena, I'm guessing you have that for
Yeah.
the
You guys actually have
middle
it.
school roof and HVAC bids.
It looks like this. Yep.
Okay.
And it just shows you that our high bidder was I think it's pronounced Harbell Construction, or low bidder rather, our winning bidder. And we were a little bit under budget, which is good, because that gives us the opportunity then to take that money and put it back into additional units and additional work into the HVAC system.
We've dealt with Harbell before, haven't we?
No, I haven't, since I've been here.
Yeah, we have. And I don't think,
Oh, okay, I don't know about that.
I don't remember fond memories of that.
Okay,
Okay.
well, we'll keep a good
So we'll have to
watch on them.
stay on top of that. I'm trying to remember what they did. We would have to go back and look, but
I don't know.
I don't remember the name.
Okay, I don't know. Not,
Okay.
must have been before my time, but.
Are you thinking quality of work, maybe?
No, and it could be a completely different group of folks by now.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
we'll
It
stay-
could be a whole different company owned, but I would think that with the reputation that they would have changed the name.
I have a good relationship with some of the subcontractors. There's a
Okay.
couple that I don't, you know, I remember the names when they were building, but like Skyline Roofing, great relationship with those guys, so.
Is that in Harrisonburg?
Winchester's, Harrisonburg, that whole area there, the valley.
And they'll sub out to them, they always
They're
sub
subbing
out
out
to
to
them?
Skyline, yes.
Okay.
So some of the paperwork that I have, I don't know if that's what you have.
No, they
there.
just have the.
I have their subcontractors
They just have
that's
this piece.
doing each part, and whatever that company is, the general contractor, he's got everything out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's subcontracted out to different companies. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
S&S is, you remember S&S Electric? I think
Um,
they were out of Pittsburgh, Cumberland.
okay,
Those
Yeah.
guys they're a subcontractor as
okay.
well.
Well, it just seems like that's where we get in trouble.
Yes, ma'am.
That you know, you wonder if they drive up to a 7-Eleven and, you know, hold up a sign for a contractor or what they do. I mean, really, you wonder sometimes. And, they make us do all these things, clerk of the works, the architect that we had to pay one time to watch over things, and it's always the same. So, the responsibility, I think, falls on us to make sure that they're doing the quality
Right job.
work that they need to do. So, well, do we need a motion to approve Harbell's?
We do.
So moved.
Have a motion and a second to approve Harbell Construction for the roof and HVAC replacement for Moorfield Middle School. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and it's approved 4-0. Okay, now we're down to board members, superintendent discussion, pro officers report, bus light safety and concerns. I'm glad we're getting back on that.
So the pro officers report, you don't have one for November because I just received it late this afternoon. I didn't have time to,
Okay.
I always put it on one form for you, and it was too late in the afternoon to get it to this meeting, so I'll bring it to the next one.
Okay.
But were there any additional questions about the last pro officers report? Because I think at the last meeting, you had the one from the previous month for October, so I didn't know if anybody had anything publicly they wanted to address. Are we good with that? Okay. I had just told you all I'd circle back to it. The bus light safety concerns, we have from the sheriff's office. The sheriff actually dropped this off to me shortly after our first meeting in November that we had. Is that? Oh, I thought that was Roy calling back.
Me too.
And we had 3 individuals charged last school year. One in January of 23, one in January of 24, and then we had an October of 24 individual charge. And we found out that the emails that Irena was sending down, they were going to the wrong email address. So the ones that we were getting in through here from the Moorfield side weren't actually making it to the people that needed to charge. So we have those, but they've been so long now that we felt like it would be unfair to go back to people on something that happened a year ago. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So we're keeping a good log now, and Josh is checking in on that to make sure that that's staying active and current when we get anybody that's been reported. And I don't think we've had anybody yet, but that's our plan. But what we'll do is we'll update you guys. So each month when Josh comes, if he's had 2 people turned in, we can discuss it here and he can share with you who those people were and let you know, and we'll go at it that way, and we'll make sure that they get charges.
Is there any way that you can follow up and see what has happened?
All I can do is ask. Yeah,
Yeah.
When the sheriff was here, I'm sure he'll be happy to let us know that they completed. And I think we were talking a little while ago, maybe we could, when Irena is sending that email to the officer that she's been assigned to send it to,
Carbon copy us.
and copy the sheriff. That way he's aware too. And then we'll follow up and make sure that they've taken care of it.
I
But
think he's Hispanic.
I just wanted to let you all know that was what was going on with that. I did talk to Chip Combs. I don't know if any of you have heard it in the community news. Well, he said he was going to run it through the community news. He didn't want to charge us for advertisement, so he was going to run that as a running community news item to watch for buses, watch for kids. Mrs. Markwood, through the communications side of her position, has developed a billboard that we're going to get out a couple different places. It's a big bus, and it says, see bus, look for kids, I think is what it says. It was a pretty nice, you'll see it outside of Morgantown. I know they have it around Monongalia County, so we stole that actually from them. But we designed our own, and that's on its way to print. And then we'll also run that in the Moorfield Examiner, and we'll do some Facebook blasts once we get it back and approved. So wanted to update you on where we were on our end of that.
Yeah.
But we've been working on it in the last month.
So, and we're gonna talk about the third lane so that the people understand about a third lane.
Yep, we'll make sure that that's listed in there, that the turning lane is actually, doesn't prohibit you from stopping. Is that what you're talking about? The third lane? Yeah. We'll make sure that specifically is pointed out. Yeah, we'll do that. For sure.
We always called that the Jimmy lane.
Okay.
Jim Costner felt for sure that was put in for him.
For him?
Yeah.
Good old
And
Jim.
then, of course, the police said, oh, no, we don't want you all running up and down
The middle lane?
yeah, but it was really convenient. Okay.
I have one thing to ask under this. Is there any way, and I don't know if it's out of anybody's, totally out of control, the governor coming on the 16th, right?
Last I heard.
Okay, and then the ribbon cutting on the 11th. Is there any way those two things could be combined?
Well, we can't change the governors. I can say something to Logan to see if he wanted to move that to, here's the thing. I don't know if the governor will come to the track itself.
Will actually make it.
My guess is there's that, if he'll actually make it on that date, because he's
Right.
canceled twice. Beyond his control, I'm not bad mouthing him at all, and then the other piece to that is, I think he wants to go to Moorfield High School. I think they're wanting to do the ribbon cutting at the track, and I'm not sure that he'll hit
Go to the
exterior.
track?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know he also is going to Hampshire County that day.
They'd have to
At the track.
carry baby
What time?
doll's chair.
What time was at the track?
Ooh.
One,
One,
You
I
guys
believe.
remember?
And I'm not sure they're doing that at the track. I think they're doing that in one of the schools
The ribbon cutting?
because of the weather or something.
Okay, I have not heard that, so,
I won't be
They've
here.
changed it, they're not gonna
okay.
go to the track on the 11th.
I think it's still scheduled for the 11th, but I'm not sure it's going to be
at the track.
at the track.
Okay, well, as soon as I hear something, if anybody reaches out to me, I'll let you know. And if you get more information on that, pass it along to us.
Yeah. Yeah, if they want us there, it'd be nice if they would tell us where. Okay. I don't know, it just kind of sounded to me like it would make sense to do it all at one time.
Right.
But- And I realize that some of it's out of our control.
Well, even if the governor wouldn't go, you know, it would be nice to hold them in tandem a little bit, but whatever.
Yeah.
You know, we appreciate
Oh,
everything
heck,
that.
he doesn't go anywhere without baby dogs.
Yeah, he's gonna be going to
You might
the
give Logan
Senate
a call
floor
and just touch
about
base.
him.
I made the note too.
Well, that's
Price
okay.
tags of the dog did its way.
Because he was concerned about the weather.
Okay.
Be nice.
Kind of hard to have a ribbon cut in.
Be nice.
Not the track, though.
I know, that's kind of the thing. You think they would just do that for the governor then?
Little
I don't
dog
know.
is cute, you know,
The little dog is very patient.
it's not a little dog,
No.
it's a good sized dog. And he is truly devoted and loves that dog.
He does love his dog.
You know, and that's a good thing. Okay, how about future agenda items? Do we have anything we want added?
Jennifer's looking like she does. Do you have something you need added to the agenda?
Well, no, I forgot until now to discuss the potential of the PE waiver.
Oh, okay.
Is that something?
We just would put that on the
Put
agenda
that
when
on
it's
the
ready,
agenda.
because it's that
Okay,
policy, right?
right. Mhm.
Yeah, it's a policy.
Okay.
Based upon our schedule changes, you guys have had this before, since you brought it up, I'll just explain what she's
Right,
talking
yeah.
about. Remember when we had the meeting and we talked about giving PE credit to kids who participated in athletics, and there was a way to do that with the combined program piece? And you guys had voted not to do that the last time it was brought to you. I think you had some feedback from a PE teacher that was concerned. So when we were looking at our schedule for some of our high schools next year, that will be an important piece for how we proceed with our personnel and our scheduling. So I think we're probably going to bring that back to you, that policy back to you and revisit, and at that time we'll discuss it again and ask you to take another look and consider doing that, because it'll be important for our upcoming decisions, I think, when it comes to personnel.
Playing
and
athletics, they're probably in better shape than they would be just from a PE course.
Some of them, yeah.
So,
But we'll get it back to you and put it on an upcoming agenda.
okay, we'll move on to announcements. Our next meeting is December 16th, and it's at Moorfield High School at 5 o'clock. So,
Is it with the high school? We need to ask the choir to entertain us that night. We normally do that, don't we, at Christmas?
mhm.
And Mrs. Slack, giving us refreshments again.
We will do the
Those were
same.
really nice last year.
Mhm.
I mean, we don't need to ask for it. I'm sure she'll
I think
come
Mrs.
through with it anyway, but
We
they
will
were really
ask.
good.
Okay.
Okay, under mission statements and accomplishments, certainly proud of East Hardy. They're in semifinals.
At 6:30 this evening.
Okay,
Yeah, shortly.
so let's wish them good luck and hope they have a wonderful game. So, anybody have anything under mission? In the football team.
Both football teams made it to the playoffs.
And that's good.
Well, for both teams from our little county,
Mhm.
I think that's pretty.
Williamstown whooped up pretty badly on Moorfield.
And Tucker showed no
Tucker
mercy on
badly
East
on East
Hardy.
Hardy.
Yeah. But
You took some whoopings.
when my daughter was in school, they had to play Williamstown, and Gary Clower was driving the bus, and some ninny down there put sugar in the gas tank.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, and they were like,
What was that in?
they played Williamstown.
In basketball?
I don't know if it was football or what, because Sarah was a cheerleader. And,
Probably.
and they
played
put
them-
sugar.
We played them twice before, and both times it beat.
Playoffs.
One time in the championship and one time there,
That's no squall.
but that wasn't until,
2000.
yeah,
Well,
2000.
maybe it wasn't Williamstown.
No, I don't
I don't
think it was
know, but
Williamstown.
wherever
They're the
it
Yellow
was,
Jackets, they're the Yellow Jackets
They
too.
put,
But they're maroon and
they
gold.
put sugar in the gas tank, and the kids
Maybe it
didn't
was,
get
that
home.
sound more like maybe Williamson.
Well, maybe it
Clearfield.
was,
Clearfield.
Yeah.
so. Okay, so we'll move on to personnel. Oh, you know what, before we get to that, these invoices. I had a couple questions on those. On the flood insurance premium,
Uh-huh.
is that the maximum amount we can get? It's important that we stay at the absolute maximum.
I don't know the answer to that. We'll have to ask Sarah.
Okay, we need to find out, because, when we got flooded out before, we always had asked the agent to make sure that they kept us at the maximum amount.
Okay.
And, in the 85 flood, we weren't at the maximum amount,
Okay.
and we had to go to court. And,
Okay.
it-
I will find out from her.
Nationwide had to pay us a good bit
Okay. All right. Flood
more.
insurance.
So we need to make sure that it's always the maximum amount, so that if they increase anything, that we always go to that next amount, because
Okay.
you need it.
Got it. Okay. I'll find out.
And then my second question was that, and I think I answered my own, but it's on page 4 of these invoices. It's custodial supplies, and it's those 2-roll toilet paper dispensers. It looks like, I'm guessing they got a case at the price,
Did you know,
that,
Josh?
which would have had 4 different dispensers. But when you look at that invoice, what I wanted you to see is that honestly, you can't really tell so much what you got. You have to do the math, because it says 1.
Which one are we looking at? It's
And
not
I'm
more than-
guessing it's a
should be
full
up here.
case
Yeah, it's
that's
up here then.
4.
2 roll paper towel.
Okay, I
72.
saw that and I thought this didn't seem right.
111.
That would have probably been
A
for
case
the
for.
building over there, wouldn't it?
I don't know, I'm not,
Well, they would just need 1, but it wouldn't be $200 and some, because it's listed a unit price of 72.
72, yeah.
Which would make 4, and it says 1.
Is that a dispenser?
A 2-roll toilet paper dispenser. It
I'm
looks like
sure
they're
you need
$72
extra
a
ones that
piece,
they get
and I would say
broken where
that it's the
people
288.
hit 'em.
Just been an extra
Is that general
in
sales?
December.
I'll have to check.
Yeah.
Yeah, general sales.
Mhm.
But see how it's a little
General
confusing?
sales of Virginia, yeah, it's general sales. Yeah, I'm not sure how Barbie puts that in, or if there's a way that she can note that.
Well, with seeing the 72, I knew that
You
it
knew how
had
much
to
it was
be
per
for a
piece,
case,
yeah.
but, you know,
Okay.
some of the things you can't tell. And then there was another thing.
What page was that on, Dixie?
Oh, you
The
can
bottom?
have this whole thing.
Oh, okay.
And on another page, it was Highway Motor Company, and there was something, and honest to goodness, the transportation was almost more than what the invoice was. But I think you told us previously that at Highway, if they had it in stock, we didn't have to pay anything. But if
That's
they
right.
did have to transfer it in, we had to pay
If they have to
something.
order it, we have to pay what they have to pay to get it to them. That's correct. Mhm.
And I thought that's what it was, because then later, Truck Enterprises.
Yep.
A core sensor, a sensor Knox, but then there was one bill where we had to pay transportation, so, okay. So we're okay on that, here you go.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody have anything else that? Okay, so we'll move on to personnel. And the first thing that's on here is superintendent's contract.
And you all have a copy of it.
Yeah, do we need to go into executive session for this, or we can just approve it, can't we?
That's up to you guys, yep.
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve the superintendent's contract,
Second.
that will be effective through June 30th, 2029.
Thank you.
So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Okay, and it's approved 4-0. All right, so I guess the rest is yours.
All righty.
We appreciate you.
If there aren't any questions, I can approve these as an entirety. That's all right? All right, I have a recommendation I recommend you approve the personnel actions as presented for December 2nd.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the personnel actions as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, and they're approved 4-0. Is there any more business to come before the board this evening?
Motion to adjourn.
Have a motion to adjourn, is there a second? Okay, a motion and a second to adjourn, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? And we're adjourned at 5:50.